So we'll easily get $1,000 back in profit from this $15 purchase just by doing exactly what I just explained. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about the results from something that we bought for $15. This ratted out book that we've since torn apart, broken apart, and removed some of the pages from. Now, this is in a video. If you go back, there's a haul video from an antique mall this was purchased at for $15. Had to get the key. I had to have unlock it. I bought this book and another book. Now, this book was in pretty damaged condition. Had some of the leather binding, but it wasn't worth anything. It was all trashed out. Discarded anything I didn't need. This is a book from 1773. That's one of the biggest factors in this book right here. Now, I'm going to show you how we easily will get $1,000 or more out of this book. Now, we've already sold $320 worth of items that came out of this book. Now, what did we find in the book? There was sheet music in the book. What this book actually is a bound edition of every month plus a special edition of a published magazine. The magazine was published just as you see it here. It does have a cover on some of them. Let me get to one of the inside ones with the cover page. So they all have specific issues. Each month came with a sheet of sheet music. These are all from 1773. The sheet music that was in it was folded, and that's usually what you'll see. We've flattened them out fairly well. I've separated each single sheet very carefully out of the book. I've stripped down the spine, and then I've started to list just the sheet music aspect of it. So the book I'm setting aside for right this minute. I've went ahead and listed each one of these you see in my hand. I got 13 different sheets of sheet music out of this book that I paid $15 for. Now, I put these up and I just let them be. I just simply forgot about them, didn't pay any attention to them. I wasn't in a hurry to get a whole bunch of money back for them. I only have $15 in the entire purchase. I only listed the sheet music, and I will tell you at the end here what I plan to do with the rest of the book as well. So the sheet music wise, I sold this one here for almost $82. Sold this one here for almost $82. Another one here, almost $82. And a fourth one right here for almost $82. Now here is the actual sales record. I combined them, so there is a partial refund for their shipping. But you can see, now I've blocked off the buyer. I don't usually give out any information of anybody who deals with us. That's confidential. I would never recommend ever sharing in a video or anywhere else any buyer's names or any personal information of anybody who deals with you. But already we've got about $270, $275 back after all the cogs, every expense, the listing fees, eBay fees, final value fees, taxes, and everything. We're still going to make around $270 or so, I would gather, from what this sold for. Now, a big factor in why these are worth something is the simple fact of the age. The year that the book was printed, that's the biggest key factor here. It's from 1773. It's a colonial era sheet music. The book itself has colonial era magazines in it from 1773 that could have been found here in the United States. Point of it being, people just like items that are from the colonial era. Now, the biggest factor with this one is I knew we'd get good money out of this because of the specific sheet music and then because of the date. Sheet music doesn't show up before a certain date, almost never. It's very rare to find any sheet music up at all on eBay. And when we listed these, we had the only colonial era sheet music on all of eBay. No one else had them. Our 13 up were it. So people will just buy this type of thing just because of the date. A museum may buy it to mount it on the wall or put it in a display. A songwriter may buy it to recreate. This is in the public domain at this point. Anybody can do anything they want with this sheet music, basically. But there's probably 5 or 6 different types of people that would want this specific sheet right here. This type of thing. Now, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a specific type of music either. It's just that it's from the 1773 era. Now, another aspect on this, as I said, this book is just a compilation. It just has all the bound monthly editions and then a special year-end edition, all bound into the same book form, so that they wouldn't have to worry about it. It basically turned a monthly magazine into a book. Very common practice. You'll see tons of books that were done this way in that time frame era, all the way up into, say, 1870s, 80s, 90s, even probably into the 20th century. They've been doing this sort of thing where you just basically build a book. It was a lot cheaper and it would last a lot longer if it was bound. If you had a little extra money, it wasn't a super fortune. Now, the company itself that actually produced the monthly magazine, in some cases, would bind them at the end of the year if they had extras, and they would sell it at a discounted rate, the entire bound edition for the year as well. So there are many reasons why these would turn up. What we also plan to do, even though the sheet music is going to make us hundreds of dollars more still, is we're going to break these down specifically into each month. Clean up the spine just a hair. This is 1 month. This is February of 1773. This is the Ladies Magazine. That's going to be in the title. 1773 Ladies Magazine, original, authentic, Revolutionary War era magazine. That's what this is. Each one of these I will list in the same price range as the sheet music. And I could very easily get 80 bucks for each one of these. Now, I don't list these in the magazine section usually. The sheet music was listed, I do believe, in the Revolutionary War section under the authentic items, as would this item here. This would be like a home front item, something that someone would have maybe went to war with as well, something to read, reading material. There's a lot of interesting items, articles, and things along that line about historical events in here as well. So if something historical, it has daily news and things in these newspapers. So, or magazines, I guess you'd call them. So if you look through here, you'll run into things. There's an article from Rochester, New York in here. So there's colonial information prior to the Revolutionary War. So this is a very good item. There are 13 individual magazines, just like there were 13 different sheet musics. So that's 26 individual listings, all that could get me at least 80 bucks a piece for my $15 purchase. It has that old smell. If you ever have been in an old store or a real old house or old barn or been around a lot of old paper, it has that smell. There's no doubt in my mind that this is 100 or 200% legit. So knowing what type of material is out there and what type of value some of the material can go for, you can make a lot of money from something that was discarded. Now, why would someone assume this ratted out book wasn't worth anything? The book covers weren't attached. The spine was pretty well trashed out. It may even be missing some pages in the last section of the book. Still sell it just the way it is, but in individual sections. But to them, if they looked up this book and they looked at the condition and looked at what a copy of this book could go for, it doesn't go for much when you try and sell it whole. It just doesn't. You have to be able to look outside the box and break the book down into the sheet music, sell it specifically to a sheet music person as well as to colonial collectors. I could market it as a 1773 authentic Revolutionary War era magazine and list the month or whatever the case may be. Same thing like the sheet music there. Keywords are so important. So if somebody's just listing this as a book and you're not up on it or their keywords aren't right on the book, a lot of people may not even realize that it's a bound edition or that there's stuff inside the book that can be removed like the sheet music. Now, if it wasn't the sheet music, if this book had maps in it, the maps would be worth selling every time. And the maps would be 80 bucks or plus as well. Now, don't assume that a 1900s book's going to be worth doing this to at all. It has to be the right type of book, the right type of material from the right age for it to be even worth thinking about doing something like this. If you watch my channel for any length of time, you've seen me sell engraved images that came out of books for 50, 60, 100 bucks in many different occasions. So they're items that can sell regardless. And these are ones from the 1830s all the way up even in the 1870s. Some of those sorts of items will sell. Maps and books from the 1880s and even into the 1890s, depending on the book production, how much were pressed of them, could even carry a value as well. So ratted out books are an easy way to make some really good money. You just got to understand why it would be worth doing that too. Most books you run into aren't going to be like that. I go to a lot of antique malls, and this sort of thing does occasionally show up at antique malls. Now, they may have priced the book at $50. I would have still bought the book. Even maybe up into the $75 or $100 range would have still been worth me taking a shot at it. Again, I know my stuff. I've sold stuff like this before. I've broken down a ton of books, hundreds of books in our day just to do this. So the money's there if you think about it. You got to look outside the box. Don't just look at the item as a face value price. Some ratted out book, $15, who's going to want it? It's not the book that's the collectible. It's the sheet music. It's the magazines, and that they're from colonial America era, the colonial times. Just by looking outside the box, we're going to easily get $1,000 back or more for this $15 purchase. Now, it's not going to be a slam dunk. I'll get all my money back immediately right after listing it. Most of the stuff we sell, we put it up and then we forget about it. It's passive income. This is going to be 26 listings at the end of the day. They'll sell at some point. They're old enough. They've got enough, context to them. They're collectible. They're scarce. They're interesting. They've got a lot of data tied to a lot of history. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Thousands of persons are killed or injured every year by falling on stairs. This is the heavy foot type, better known as lumbering Loupe. Not very soft, are they? And here is Fire Drill Freddy, late for a date. Too bad, he'll never make it now. This is Hurrying Harry. He doesn't look where he's going. He knows the stairs are there without seeing them. Oh, my mistake. Somebody must have moved one.